Greetings, Japan fans! In today's show, we are looking at mastering the first impression, controlling the first impression, not just for ourselves, but for our teams in our role as the leader, and why this is important. Maishu arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, and the best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. And we have a new book, How to Master Business in Japan, called Japan Business Mastery. We are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan. Now, this podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan. Trust me, it is different here. If you have feedback on the show or have preferences about potential future topics, then leave us your comments. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast. You might also enjoy the Presentation Japan series and the Sales Japan series, wherever you get your podcast. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is also available as a podcast as well. This one on leadership released every week, Wednesday, midnight Tokyo time. Now, the free live workshop went very, very well, and we'll be looking for other opportunities to do that in the future. Now, before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is for those friends of yours who are habitually late, and you want to tell them, hey, don't be late. Okure naide, ne? Okure naide, ne? Okure naide, ne? Don't be late, okay? Don't be. I'm going to meet you at 3. Don't be late. Okure naide, ne? Okure naide, ne? Hey, we're catching up. You know the time. Don't be late, okay? Okure naide, ne? Okure naide, ne? Okure naide, ne? Don't be late. Okure naide, ne? Okure naide, ne? This is episode number 327. 327. And we are talking about leader first impression success. In our presentation training classes, we asked the participants, how long does it take for you to make a judgment about someone you are meeting for the first time? How about you? How long do you take to make a judgment about someone you are meeting for the first time? People in our classes would say 30 seconds. Others would say up to a couple of minutes. Today, the answers are down to 3 to 5 seconds. What does that mean for us in leadership? People judge everyone who works in our company on the impression they form about us. If we are impressive, then they think the rest of the troops are impressive too. It goes the other way, of course. If they meet someone from our firm who is a dill, then they think we're all dills down there. Now, as a leader, we set the tone, the standards, the expected behavioural norms for our operation, and this includes everyone's personal presentation. Based on this new 3-second norm, we all have such a small window to make that good first impression. Are we prepared? Are you and the team really planning your first impressions, or are you all leaving it to random chance? This is not a discussion on whether we all have to be in expensive suits or whether we can go smart casual at work. There are slobs aplenty in suits in Japan. Just take a good look around on the subway any morning. Crumpled suits, scuffed shoes, ancient food stains on ties. There are also people in casual attire who are very well appointed. Let's look at some areas where we can build an excellent first impression. Dress. Here is an important caveat. In this instance, I'm focused on men because I don't have the expert knowledge, confidence, or guts to talk about dress for ladies. I'm also pulling my points from my observation of what I see here in Tokyo. There was some famous research done on how we form impressions by Professor Albert Morabian. He found that under certain circumstances, certain conditions, we make assumptions about your professionalism, reliability and trustworthiness based on how you look. What does that mean then in business? As the boss, are you happy with the following list of sins as it applies to the male members of your team? Shoes are scuffed and not polished like a mirror. Dirty food stains on the ties that haven't been dry cleaned. Hair is unruly and messy. Clothes don't fit well anymore because they've put on some weight. Worn pants belt which should be replaced. Belt colour doesn't match the shoe colour. Tie knot is loose and not tight against the collar. These are not difficult things to fix. However, the lack of self-awareness in people who look like this is fairly vast. As the boss, if we want to ensure everyone produces a good first impression, we need to pull them into line. Find out more when we come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but very importantly, we also do custom, tailor-made in-house programs, and we do these in Japanese or English. Now, the program today is brought to you by two of our programs, our public programs. Step Up to Leadership, that's a brilliant one-day program. Next one will be on the 27th of January 2020, 27th of January 2020. Get that in your diary. Excellent one-day program. And there's also one coming up soon called Leadership Training for Managers. That's on the 5th of November. So it's a 7-week program, starts on the 5th of November. Now, Step Up to Leadership, nice little bridging program for those who are new to leadership. You've been a player, you've done well, you've been recognised, you've been promoted. Bingo! You're now the boss of your section. Uh-oh, hang on a minute. These people aren't like me. I have to communicate with them. Oh my God, I have to inspire them. I have to lead them. Not sure about that. Knew how to do it for myself. Don't know how to do it with these people who are not like me. One day we teach you how to do the communication, how to do the coaching, how to get the performance going, what your role actually is to understand clearly what you need to be doing. Now, Leadership Training for Managers, the next one is coming up on, as I say, the 5th of November, a 7-week program. Excellent program for people with experience in leadership. This is not for newbies. Maybe you've been a leader for a year or two, and now you need to really step it up a few notches. You need to really make yourself a powerful leader. We go through everything. This is, as I often say, the Swiss Army knife of leadership. It's got everything. How to do the performance assessment, how to do the delegation, how to deal with the mistakes, how to do the planning, okay, how to get the innovation going in the team, coaching, communication, everything you need in this one 7-week program. This is a brilliant program for people who have really gotten into leadership positions but haven't really been invested in to date, and that's often the case. You get made leader, okay, you sort of have to swim or sink, basically, based on working it out for yourself. But then it gets to a point in time where, well, you know what? The organisation really needs a more credible, more professional leadership group, and you're in that group, and now we really need to get you up to speed at a much higher level. This is the program you send those people to. So there are some programs for leadership. Look for those. Our website, full of useful resources. Go and have a look, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Watch the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show on YouTube. Listen to it now as a podcast, comes out every Monday. Also on YouTube, you can access over 800 training videos at Japan Dale Carnegie TV. Get my book, Japan Sales Mastery, the bestseller, the Bible for selling in Japan, and my new book, How to Master Business in Japan, called Japan Business Mastery. This Friday, we will launch a new show, podcast and video show, called Japan Business Mastery. Every Friday, it'll come out as video, it'll come out as a podcast. Look for that. It's a shorter program, really hones down to the 3 things, the 5 things, the 6 things you should be doing. Make it more concise, more compact for those who like that type of programming. Okay, let's get back into the show in a minute. Welcome back. All right, so next point is initial contact. We should all pay attention to our first greetings in Japan. A bow is expected, of course, but how about a smile just before the bow? Yes, we can have a serious expression on our face and do the bow, but being easy to do business with is an advantage in this competitive market. So let's train everyone to smile more when they meet people for the first time. You would think this is hardly revolutionary or even worth a mention, but next time you meet someone, check their facial expression before they bow, and I will bet it doesn't look friendly. By the way, you can be a serious business person and also smile. They are not mutually exclusive. Also, make initial eye contact when you first meet people, but do it for no longer than about 6 seconds. Japan is not keen on making eye contact, so everyone is busily looking at people's throats, chins, or foreheads instead. Engaging people for that initial 6 seconds isn't outside of cultural boundaries here, so we can apply it to build a stronger connection with people we meet. Longer than 6 seconds, however, and we will have a problem. So let's make that length the maximum. Voice tone. Here are some things to avoid. Mumbling. Lifeless voice quality. Voice too soft. Voice too loud. We convey a lot through our tone of voice, so we have to make sure that when we meet someone for the first time, the tone is clear and friendly. As a best practice, we should try to immediately use the name of the person we've just met using a friendly tone. This helps us to remember their name and also makes the initial contact feel more personal. Insightful remark. When meeting new people, it is always good to get them talking as soon as possible about their business. This helps us to know if there is some useful information we have which we can impart to them and make ourselves valuable to them in some way. If you're visiting their office and there is something eye-catching in their environment, don't just say it is eye-catching. They work there, and they already know that. Ask to what degree this feature has had a positive impact on their business or their staff or their customers, etc. This will lead to an interesting business discussion about their firm, and that is a great way to get to know their current situation. Obvious things are not always obvious to the people who work for you. The boss has to be the arbiter of the good first impression and school the team on its importance. That means we have to lead from the front in the way we present ourselves, and we have to speak to people who don't get it. Have a strategy for building first impressions and don't leave this to random. Allow your competitors that privilege. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, tell your family, friends and colleagues. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe and share this podcast. You can contact me, greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Lots of great stuff on our website, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. Watch our videos, the Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Start reading Japan Sales Mastery, also Japan Business Mastery. Listen to my other podcasts, the Presentation Japan series, the Sales Japan series, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Watch my new TV show, the Japan Business Mastery show, as well as my existing TV show, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, which is coming on YouTube. Until the next episode, take what you thought valuable, put into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. So be one of them. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy here in Japan to help you grow your business.